Let's say I take the spring, I'll make it fairly bouncy. And let's key it moving around. Oh, it's crazy. Let's get gravity higher and not so bouncy. Okay. So as I move this thing around, I'm gonna save some keys on it. So key it here. Key it here. Key it here. Key it here. Okay, so key it here. Okay, now this is bouncing. Whip, bang, whip. And you see it really like goes. Oh, if I loop, it's gonna go tink. So it really snaps back. So what you can do at any time while this is playing, you can fade out the mute. I can fade out exactly the pose that I'm going to. So if you animate the control cage in FK, you can hit that exactly. But what's nice is it's a crossfade. So if you fade it out, if you animate this, animating this will not change the amount of energy in the spring. It's like you're in Photoshop switching between two layers that have rendered out the animation. So if I go back here and like, let's say I animate the pose too. So I can go here and let's say I initialize it. If you click on initialize, it resets it. So if you want to make scripts that reset all these tails so they don't wobble around, you just click on this, leave initialize on. Basically means there's no energy in that spring system. So I select all these. I'm going to key them in rotation, and I'm also going to key them in rotation here. Turn initialize on. I'm also going to key them in rotation right here at the end. Yeah, initialize is good mode actually, because it just means give me exactly the poses that I'm going to. So here I'm going to hit a pose that's upwards, and let's animate this down a little bit. That one up a little bit. Ooh, I don't want a 3D one. Okay, so let's take this and key it. Now if I animate that, okay, it's initialized, so there's no dynamics here. I'm just looking at what happened, what the tail's doing. So I turn initialize off. Now it's animated. And now you can see I can go in here on the mute slider. Here, maybe I can zoom in a little bit. So my mute slider, I can take it and I can say, here we go. So I can say start to cross, I can crossfade to stiffness. And then you see the way it pops at the beginning all the time? Well, what I want to do is I want to initialize it. I want to set, it's kind of like initial state. So I'm going to initialize it right here. I'm going to key that at 0. So anytime you want to key, you want to take all the energy out of that tail and you want to key it taken out, just do that. And then I'm going to turn it off. Now it's not initialized. So what this means is if I loop, every time it goes back to the beginning, it goes back to the beginning again, calm. And in the final release, there'll be some more stuff in here, typical of the rest of the rigid body dynamic stuff in XSI to control caching and hopefully caching onto the mixer and things like that.